Andy, these things are never easy, are they?
No. A few things to say. I think Crewe were the better team in the first half. They kept possession of the ball, they kept moving us, they kept working us. We couldn't get into any kind of rhythm with the ball. They made it really difficult for us. So massive credit to them. I think they know what they try and do as a football club and develop a style and young players. It's credit to them and credit to Lee and his staff. But I must give credit to our players as well, because there's a massive turnaround in the second half. We stepped up the intensity with and without the ball, and we were much more on the front foot. And it goes to show that when you prepare properly, you get the rewards. And we've been taking penalties since last week in preparation for both these games out on the training ground. We've gone through a lot of detail today. If it went to penalties for the eventuality, and when you do that, there's less chance involved, and it was great that we've taken at the Hamel end where we've changed ends for the home supporters. So thank you to the board, and thank you to the fans, because I thought the atmosphere in the second half was great, and the fans helped us get us over the line. So yeah, a lot of plaudits for a lot of people.
What was the key to that turnaround? Even though you didn't score in the second half, the performance was very different. What was the key to turning that and changing that?
Well, I think first half without the ball, the pitch was too big, and we allowed them too much space to dominate the ball. We've shown a few clips at half time then in terms of what we wanted to try and do with the ball, in terms of what they were doing. Very man for man, both teams playing at the same shape. And yeah, just thought the game needed a change, so we changed shape and we went to a single six and two centre forwards, and then Ollie got a grip of the game, and the whole game was being dictated by Ollie then, even though they changed their system. So yeah, a lot better second half. Players needed game time. I think the young players, Reece Walters, I thought was brilliant, and his time on the pitch. He didn't look out of place, and it's credit to the academy. It's credit to the guys who work in the academy now that players are now being produced for the football club. James and Tommy obviously came through last season, and James is now a regular with the group and is doing really well. But Jack Reese, Bailey was on the bench. He's been performing really well with the academy since the start of the season, and it's important that they get a reward and that they see an opportunity to come and play in the first team and get valuable experience.
The team selection in itself, like you say, was wanting to win the game, but you've got another 3-game week coming up, and you've got the league leaders on Saturday. So in some ways, was that ever in your mind when you were picking that team tonight as well?
Listen, there's a lot of disappointed people when they weren't starting on Saturday. So now you then got to go and give them an opportunity now. And we've got a squad. We're not going to have a successful season with the same 11 people starting every single game. I've made changes every single game. Sometimes you get rewarded for it. Sometimes it doesn't happen for whatever reason. But listen, we went right to the end, and we were prepared for every eventuality, and we were through to the next round, which was the final message before the players went out. That there's such a big reward for getting through to the third round to go and play at potentially some of the elite clubs in the Premier League. So who knows what will happen in the draw, but we're through to the next round, and that's the most important thing.
We've talked a lot about your goalkeeper already. In the end, he only had to save one of the penalties, but he's a big imposing presence in shootouts like that, and the one save he did make, he had to hold his nerve pretty well.
I didn't watch any of the penalties. I just sat in the dugout and looked for the reaction of the crowd. So I couldn't tell you where any of the penalties went, where any of our penalties went. But Connor's got a reputation for saving penalties, and I'm sure their players knew it. And with our home fans behind him, making it more difficult for the Crewe penalty takers, it created a situation of pressure for them. So it's credit to the fans. I thought they were amazing tonight, and yeah, collectively we all got over the line.
I have to ask you this because it's the stock question when you get through to the next round of the Cup. Any preference for who you'd like?
No, we're through. That was the main objective, to get through. So I hope we play really well with the ball and really well without the ball. And if we don't, you've got to find a way. And it was probably a contrast first half. We weren't great with the ball. We weren't great without it. But second half, a big difference. And yeah, objective achieved. We're through to the next round. The home form continues. I think you can see now a real connection between a new group of players and staff and the supporters. Obviously, winning helps that. But you can see it growing, and we thank them for their support. And as you said, for the players, it's 3-game weeks, but the supporters are coming out in the numbers, and they keep backing the players. And I hope that they see that the basics we try and do every game, which is to run around and be competitive and wear the badge with some real pride.
And the last thing, that's 6 unbeaten now, and I know you talked, not without mentioning the B word, but you talked about the response, you talked about how the group needed to come together after that. This is evidence of it, that they are coming together after that, surely.
Yeah, listen, we're a new group who had a poor opening day result, but the response since has been really good. We've picked up good results. We want to improve. We're only going to get better. So we're at the start of things now. I've lost count of the number of players we've recruited. But listen, we're making little small steps forward, and long may that continue.